That going. Okay, good, good. Well, it's good to see everybody here. If you could just tell me a little bit about yourself, I'm going to just go down the line. We don't have a whole lot of time, but June, tell us a little bit about your film.
Yeah. I'm Jun Kitamikado from Japan. My movie name is Reunion to Genesis. That movie is the Reunion series is a human science fiction drama set in a bar in another dimension. The tavern attracts customers from all eras. In the sequel, Genesis, the secret behind the brass of the bar will be revealed. And next to me, she's Keiko Aizawa. She's a leading actress of my series.
Yeah,
Hey,
awesome.
Keiko.
Awesome, Keiko. Tell us a little bit about yourself, Keiko.
Me? Yep. Hi, everyone. I'm the actress, and I usually play on the stage, but this is the first time that I started in the movie, and Jim gave me a chance to play the movie, and I played Mika, who is working in the bar, but that bar is many age people can come,
Right.
in the future or past or whatever, and I'm just working at bar, but my leg was gone, so my leg is just the cyborg kind of thing.
Yeah, you're a cyborg.
Yeah, half cyborg. Yeah.
Half cyborg. Very special.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
that's
I
awesome.
meet many person like that.
Right.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Quick note also, folks, I know that, we're slated for a certain amount of time. So if you want to come in a little bit, leave, come back, that's perfectly fine too. We
Thank
want
you.
folks to be happy and comfortable. We know that everybody's on a tight time, and I know you're on a tight time, Keiko, especially since it's probably it's late, it's wee hours of the night over there right now. So
Yep, in Japan.
yeah, no, I thank you for that. Thank you for your time. And
You're welcome.
Matt, how you doing, Matt? You're local to Florida, right?
Yeah, I'm a straight Miami boy. I want to get more specific. Hi, Aaliyah.
Yeah, congratulations. Thank you so much for being part of the festival. It's hard for us to get local content. A lot of stuff is grabbed up and is gone, so thank you for being part of the festival. We really, really appreciate that. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, first, thank you for having me. And I graduated with my bachelor's degree in film just last year. This film was my thesis film, and it was just my first little mark on the horror genre that I wanted to do, and it was quite the tedious little process. It was my first short film direction in over 6 years since I had initially stopped my degree. Then I finally finished it.
Wow, that's impressive. And we're going to show some trailers as well. We've got trailers for a lot of the films here, so we're going to bring some of those out. Right now, there's a little tiny man. How do we make this a little bigger? Anyway, this can't be bigger here. So let's just start showing some trailers and talking about them. So we're going to play Reunion.
不思議よね。でもなんか温かい気持ちだけは残ってる。
気持ちね。
その箱には世界を創生するほどのエネルギーが詰まっている。
Awesome. We're going to show now a clip from Noman.
Like any summoning ritual, the rules are simple. At 3 a.m., light 5 candles, forming a pentagram. Once you do, take a deep breath. And when you're ready, repeat their name 3 times.
Whoa! All right. One thing to also know about the history of MiSciFi. MiSciFi is, of course, M-I, which in Spanish means my, SciFi. Very, very important. You'd be surprised how many people, even in Florida, don't get that. But since our very beginning, we included horror because we know that horror, being part of the fantastical world, didn't have enough representation in South Florida. And the whole purpose why MiSciFi was produced was to bring this fantastic content to South Florida, which was absent for many, many, many years. I want to say at least 2 decades before we started. So we've decided to keep it, but horror has grown so large in our program that we created a separate festival for horror. And that festival is called the Quantum Physical Horrific Experience, because horror has become so big at MiSciFi that it actually intrudes on our sci-fi. So if you're into horror, you're really into that, we recommend folks go on that route because you're going to get the same exposure, international exposure that MiSciFi offers. And we continue to respect the brand. Moving on down the pipe, we've got Derek Rommel. How you doing, Derek?
Oh, just peachy keen. Can't complain.
Okay, great. Can you tell us a little bit about where you're from and a little bit about Tu'er?
Yeah, so I'm from Salt Lake City, Utah. I live right up nestled against the Rocky Mountains. And long story short, I was a few years ago accepted to film school at Chapman University, where the Duffer Brothers came out of. And I kind of waited around in my mind and I said, I think I'm just going to take the money I would have gotten to get a film degree and go make a short concept. And so I raised $50,000 on Kickstarter and shot To Air, which is our little sci-fi piece in Utah and the Oregon coast in the Northwest U.S.
Yeah. The film was shot in Oregon, yes? You said that?
Yeah, Oregon and Salt Lake City proper, both locations.
Wow. Yeah, it's a really good film. It's done very well, and I'm going to make it a little bit larger here if I can do that. I don't want to break anything. But see here, folks, you can see To Air. It's a really nice film. I'm going to bring up some more of your slides. I'm quite impressed with this. So let's... But while we wait for that, tell me a little more about what you have going on, TL Westgate.
Me, I'm just glad to be back again. Unfortunately, I got home from a trip to Europe and Africa on the Saturday of your festival, so I couldn't make it this year. So I'm really glad to be here on the video with you.
Man, what an excuse.
Sorry.
TL Westgate is a phenomenon by himself. He has he's been in the festival every year since we've started this.
So I got to come up with another film for you for next year.
I don't know. All I can tell you, folks, is that TL Westgate, and I want to say it's part of your success has to do with a 48-hour film festival that's over there.
I do a lot of those, yeah, not always. The one that you played this year that got in for this cycle was not a 48, but I do that every year, and if it turns out good enough, we like to float that out to other festivals. And like I said, I wish I could be there because I tell people I make films to support my travel habit. So I always like to just go to festivals and hang out, and it's good to see all you people here today.
No, that's great. The one thing I wanted to, what I really want to share with folks is that 48-hour contests, what they do is they force you to use every bit of resources that you have because you're on this incredible time constraint. And as a result of that, you have to tell a story, and you have to tell a concise story. And if you're not a winner, if you don't make it into that festival, it's because you didn't complete all of those essential ingredients into making a good film. So whoever has the siren, please tell me what city you're in so we know to be careful over there. But so it's really important that you're able to achieve that. So when folks go through that iteration process of a 48-hour, they're learning, here's the important part, they're learning the recipe for making a good film. That's what that means. So in that short amount of time, that film, those films are what, about 7 minutes long?
Yeah, the requirement is you have to make a film that's 4 to 7 minutes long in 48 hours.
Right there, that is one of the secret recipes to getting your film into a film festival. Short, you tell the story, it's so small, the programmer can't resist it. They can't resist it.
That's well put. I mean, I remember it was one of your early festivals. I was there on a panel, and some woman asked, she said, all I can do is write feature-length scripts. I don't know how to write a short film. And I said, well, a short film is really just the end of the feature. If you can get your audience up to speed on the characters and just have an ending, make the short film a resolution to a feature, that's success.
There you go. There you go. So congratulations again on that. This is your 11th season with us. Next we have John Kendall.
Hi.
How you doing, John?
I mean, I'm doing good.
And you're coming to us from Alaska. That's like amazing. That's as far as Japan, man.
Well, I am from Alaska, and I shot my film in Alaska, but I am coming to you from Atlanta, Georgia right now.
Oh, awesome. Look at that. Look at that. Okay, great. Can we show your trailer?
Yeah, please.
Okay, here we go.
What are we doing here, Amy? What are we doing here, Amy?
There's some secrets in that one, folks. there's some secrets in that one. Very good, very good. So let's I don't want to leave anybody out. Hold on a second. GNU Benton.
How you doing, everybody? Good, thank you. How are you, Troy?
Doing well, buddy. Doing well.
Glad to be back.
Thank you. And we also have Yazzie, right?
Yes, Rachel is one of the stars of The Dim, my feature film.
Hi, how are you, Rachel? Thank you so much for joining us today.
I'm good. How are you?
Doing very well, thank you. So tell us a little bit about yourself, Rachel.
So I am originally from the Navajo Reservation. I grew up in Arizona. I moved out to New York City in 2017 because I got accepted to a film school for acting for film and TV. So that's how my journey started with acting. And from there, I just had to, do my thing with trying to go out there. And I ran into GNU, and that's how I'm in The Dim. I play Lisa, who is Troy's girlfriend, and it's just a lot of craziness that goes along with being with him, and, I had to do what I can.
Yes. I enjoyed your performance. It was very good, well scripted, well acted. Some intense scenes in the film. You, as well as with in combination with Dylan, your roles were quite good. They're done well together. You perform well together. So can we show your trailer?
Of course.
Absolutely.
Let's see here. Oh, this is embarrassing. Hold on. All right. So I'd like for you all to think about, while we load up the trailer, I'd like for you to think about what were some of the challenges in producing your films. 1 second. All right, here comes the trailer. So starting with you, June, what were some of your challenges?
Me?
Yeah.
Challenges?
Yeah, what was difficult? What was the most difficult part of producing the film?
Yeah. Right. Yes. It was difficult to work on advertising production during the daytime, while also working on film production on weekends and nights. It was very hard days.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I was able to truly complete the film, which made me very proud. I also think that it surprised and influenced my friends in some way.
Yeah. And Gnu, since we're still on you here, what were some of the more challenging components?
I think one of the biggest challenges basically was just coordination of time, since it was a very independent made film. Making sure that all of our actors had availability all at the same time in order to make our film. There was a lot of instances where conveniently for our film and the theme of our film of somebody being invisible, it was good to have that concept, because sometimes we couldn't have people in the same frames all the time together.
Right.
So it kind of worked out that, if we had only one person on set, we'd be able to just film with that person acting as though somebody was there, even though they weren't.
Wow, that's pretty tough. And I think I mentioned previously in another moment that theatrical actors are really good at that. They're trained to have to imagine all of the stuff around them. And now, of course, with visual effects and being around in just about all the films out there, people have to kind of train themselves to do that, or be told, hey, there's supposed to be a city over there that you're looking at, that kind of thing.
Yeah, and I think that in the process of this film, that the actors that came on board, like Rachel, we became friends. So the more we began to shoot, the more comfortable they got, and of course, we're able to just be all in, and be there for me as a director, as an artist, to be able to give me what it is that I needed. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Can we show your trailer right now?
Yep.
Okay, great.
So, who is he?
I told you, I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm so blind. Go get banged out.
You okay? You've been awfully quiet today.
I just keep hoping that he could change.
Come on, Troy.
A cube? You sure about this?
Yeah.
Who are you? Take your
Man, I got the chills just looking at that. Looking at that supernatural feature you have there. That gave me the chills, man. Wow. Wow, awesome. So here's some clips here. I have some photography from To Is that the right pronunciation, Derek? To
Yeah, to air, tomato, potato, whatever works.
But quite impressive, man. You some really good photography, and your cinematography was excellent. It was very well done. The costumes they had, and the framing. Just to let folks know, these are androids, right? Am I right about that?
Yeah.
Androids after like some apocalypse took place. It's pretty good, very well done. Acting was very, very good, and this is part of that Oregonian coast you were talking about, right?
Yep. We found a spot called Tunnel Beach.
Tunnel Beach, and there are 2 films in the festival that were shot in Oregon. Yeah, the other one is Pinwheel Horizon, which is more like a fantasy Lord of the Rings kind of film. Good job, man. Good job.
Yeah, thank you.
So to ask a question here real quick, folks. Next question goes to Matt. Matt, what was some of the challenges? You this is a horror film. It's got a pretty much like a dark magic theme to it. And it's, if I'm correct, was the cop in the car, was that her dad? Is Matt still there?
Sorry, I was still muted. Yes, that's her dad.
That is her dad. Oh man, that's awesome. So that really adds more depth to the story, because when you see it, he's like kind of like, what's going on? What is this? Whatever. I told you, and that it opens it up to what else is going on. So what was probably the most challenging thing that you had to go through in producing your short?
I'd say right before filming started, we were having some location issues, and one of the ones for the exterior scenes, the owner told us no, due to personal reasons, so we had to scramble to find another exterior location. And the original interior, we had to scramble another one for that, since it was initially going to be in my uncle's house, but he's kind of religious, and I don't think he would have liked us filming something very dark and satanic inside his home. So
yes, because it is a setup, and if folks don't know, and correct me if I'm wrong, Matt, but in not just Latin culture, but in particular Caribbean Latin culture, things like Santeria, Obia, that still exists and is carried into Miami. So there are lots of cultural influences into the spirituality of the dead. And anybody else want to chime in on that, please do, because I know there's some folks in the room that understand about recognizing your ancestors. But a lot of this has other symbolism behind it, and for some bizarre reason, it's a very hot topic still to this day in Latin communities. So yeah, on weekends you see folks coming out wearing all white. They just finished something. That's a popular thing. Yeah. So Kiko, I've got a question for you, because I know you have a limited amount of time, and can you tell me, where do you see, can you share an unexpected or memorable moment that left a lasting impression on you in the production of this film, of your film?
ケピさんに質問で。マイク。
She's muted. Oh, let's see.
音声が入ってない。
She muted herself, so I can't unmute her.
Sorry.
It's okay.
I just cut out my mic. Sorry.
That's fine.
You
You want me to ask the question one more
view
time?
was
or-
stopping, so could you repeat the question
Absolutely.
again? Sorry.
Absolutely. So, can you share an unexpected or memorable moment during the production that left a lasting impression on you?
She's freezing.
What? Japan's supposed to have better internet than we do.
Sorry. Maybe I can
Or-
answer about that.
all your fans are raging on your app.
映画の中で一番思い出に残ったことは何ですかっていう
Yeah,
撮影で。
I talked it about a lot in Japan, but we went to Tochigi Prefecture. It's about far from Tokyo, and we stayed at there and have the last scene with the drone camera. And before coming to Tochigi, the weather was like raining weather, but we all finished the film taking. It just started raining, so
Sure.
like the weather was like greeting of me. I thought that.
I think I've heard this story. Yeah, well, that's one of the tough parts of producing. If you're doing an outside, cut, and everybody's in costume, and those costumes are like irreplaceable. Not to mention they could never be washed. Nothing can ever happen to them, and the last you want them to do is get wet while you're on set. So yeah, I remember June mentioned that when issue that they faced before. So that's amazing. But I'd like folks to think a little bit about the next question. And I'm going to open up with Caesar. Caesar, can you, I would like for you to be the first one to talk about it, but can you talk a little bit about what you think is going on with the film industry in the advent of us having all these new tools, software, these technologies and platforms? How do you think that's going to change the independent film world? And while you're thinking about that, let's show his trailer. Can we show your trailer? His trailer is called Nick 2040.
This isn't real.
The death of General Michael Colt has sparked widespread concern due to the fact that it appears to be the first known case of a robot allegedly killing a human being. The causes of this tragic incident are still under investigation, but it has raised troubling questions about the potential danger of advanced artificial intelligence. We must take the risks posed by these machines seriously and prepare for a future where robots may not always act in our best interests. This incident should be a wake-up call for all of us to have us about the ethical and social implications of creating machines that can think and act like humans.
You see that? Yes, it's a joker. I mean, they are attacking us. They are destroying everything. I need to get out of here.
We understand that this news may be unsettled, but we want to assure you that we're taking all necessary precautions to ensure the safety of our citizens. We ask that you stay indoors and avoid any unnecessary travel.
How am I supposed to fly this, Nick? I have zero experience, only in the simulator. Don't close the door, Nick!
And 35 connected.
What? A transformer? No shit! Nick, the exit! Can you open it? Nick! Nick!
Was that a transformer?
Very great.
Yeah, something.
Man, this is the guy you want to do your VFX with. Okay, we got a bunch of them at the festival. We got a lot of really good VFX guys at the festival. This is one reason why you want to come and meet some of these characters.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Troy.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Here in Japan, very midnight. And
Yes.
and I have early start tomorrow.
Yes.
So we will leave. Yeah.
Yes.
I
Thank you so much for coming.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for coming, folks. Thank you.
Thank
you for
See you
inviting
again.
me.
Arigato.
Arigato.
Good night. Live long
Good
and
night.
prosper.
Yes, live long and prosper. Absolutely.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
All right. So, Caesar, if you can go ahead with your thoughts.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for share trailer and support this hard cause. It's make this kind of short films, independent films. Yeah, I guess I think that the technology is came for a revolution now. These images you can see now are in my head from all my career, all my from I was a child, but I guess these couple years was a very different way to make this kind of VFX. I tried to do it from since, I don't know, 10, 15 years ago. I started with VFX, but really think, obviously from I start using that software, Unreal, it is a real-time software. It make a very change of everything, and it's changing so fast right now. And from the a couple of years until now, the AI is making a lot of changes too. In this trailer, I use AI voices. So the voice you hear in English of the news voices was 100% in with AI.
What?
So it's yeah. The news, no? The guys is talking is just AI. I just write the words and that's all. It's amazing. And my last short, this is Invasion 2040. I rebuilt with 100% new voices, all in AI. So I replaced the original voices for AI voices, just 50-50, I try new things. Maybe it doesn't work but it's coming so fast, and it will be a very useful for us, because you can make in a film, if you want to change something, you can do it without using the real voices. You can do an AI voices, and it's very useful when you need to change something and you need to, you don't have time, maybe, so it's very useful. There is a lot of other things I did, always I did manually, and like the old, the old things you do. But I guess this is the main reason why this is a revolution. Is a mix between AI and the new software, hardware. I use just good computer, but it's not a super computer. Just it's a good computer. And these tools can make you make this kind of films. Yes.
Una pregunta. I have a question for you. Regarding your computer, are you using computers with GPUs, or do you have the new computers that have the GPU capability in the chip?
No, I use in GPU, 4090, and that standard RTX NVIDIA GPU. But this is very important for real time. It's very important to have a good computer, because if not, you can't develop some things. With the older way to do VFX or CGI was you can do it by passes different. You can render in, for example, the reflection for one side, the effects for another side, so you don't need to add huge computer. In this time, I did everything in one pass. So this is faster, this is very useful, but you have to have a very powerful computer to develop this kind of renders. But it's useful because you can do hundreds of shots in weeks, and obviously I have my regular works, my regular jobs, which I have to do this in my spare time. So you don't have a lot of time. I guess
Mhm.
everyone is in the same situation, or
Right.
almost. You know, our dream is just live 100% with our shorts, but in this case,
Right.
you have to do in spare time. So this kind of tools is very, very useful.
Impressive. Impressive. Anybody have any questions from the crowd? Caesar is, you're still putting together that workshop? It's
What?
Are you still putting together the workshop?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right now, no.
No, I'm saying, are you still putting together the workshop that we're going to have the video so that we can share the video, the workshop video? Are you still putting that together?
Oh, if I have the workshop,
If esa tu hacer, are you still making the workshop?
si lo hice, if I did.
Yeah. We'll talk about it offline. But you were planning to do a little VFX workshop.
Yes.
Yeah, so that folks could see this and what it's designed to do. For filmmakers, it's designed for filmmakers. Says, hey, I need to have CGI, stuff. I need to have some sort of animations, computer graphics in my film, and I don't know how to do it myself. I can't do a good enough job. I got to hire a company to do this. So Caesar is putting together a small workshop of how you put this content, your ideas together, so that you can present that to a company like his or him, to get this done. Because that's one of the biggest challenges for a lot of people who make science fiction or these fantastical films. They don't know where to look, or they have no idea where to start. Or they can't do it themselves, or the movie takes an extra 2 years if they do it themselves. You don't want to be in that position. If you're a filmmaker and you really are all about making films, you want to make a film every year, minimum every year, if this is your life, if this is your business. So you don't do it yourself. That's the bottom line. You don't do it yourself. You get teams of people that help you make this happen, because that's how the big boys do it. Trust me. Okay, they have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 people writing their stories. So with that said, Derek, what are your thoughts on what's going on in the street?
Sorry, repeat that question. You cut out.
I'm sorry. What are your thoughts to how, with all the technological advances, these new techs, new platforms, how do you think that's going to change the indie filmmaking world?
From my perspective, I think it just puts more power in the hands of the common man for filmmaking. And so when you look at the developments with artificial intelligence, I pretty regularly use ChatGPT to filter my ideas, because I think what a lot of this artificial intelligence technology does is it like brings forward a very good basic version of things. Like there's one time where I fed ChatGPT, I was like, give me a Hallmarkian rom-com plot, top to bottom, and it like listed it out, no problem. Like 2 people meet, one of them's a backwoods country guy and the other one's a city girl, and it just didn't have a problem whipping that out.
Yeah, and I want folks to understand the exact phrase that Senor Romrell used. He used ChatGPT to filter his thoughts, not to say, oh, I used it to make this. No, he told it what he wanted, and he's having this iteration, this dance with it to filter out exactly what makes sense to him.
Right. And frankly, like that's why I say basic, and that's why I use a Hallmark film example, because those are formulaic. Like ChatGPT can't write Everything Everywhere All at Once. Like ChatGPT can't write 2001: A Space Odyssey. Like it doesn't quite have that creative edge. And so yeah, that's why I say filter, like use it, because it can kind of like give you, at least from a writing perspective, AI tools can give you a great first draft, and at least just like a starting block to work with something. But frankly, unless you give it the input as far as I've seen it, it can't give you something that is really like emotionally compelling or impactful just by typing in a prompt.
Right.
So you really got to work at it, but I think it can be used to your advantage to create great stuff faster, especially for the common man needing those tools.
Yeah. Awesome. No, that's great. TL?
Yes, sir. In terms of AI, yeah, I don't use Chat GPT for any of that, but I also edit and I do visual effects, and it's coming in real handy there. I was really surprised. I was shooting some footage for a friend of mine who's trying to launch like a wildlife web series, and we were visiting lions and tigers, but the bear was asleep. Oh my. But we were right by this lion, and he said, "Oh, hey, real quick, I just want to say something here." I didn't have him mic'd. I just had the on-camera mic on my Blackmagic. I was like, this isn't going to work, but go ahead. I threw that into Premiere and did the audio AI. It was like I put a mic on the guy. And believe me, it was like at negative 36 dB. And it was just, it blew my mind. And every test I've done on it, it is amazing at pulling dialogue out of bad captured audio. So the tool, I want to get into the new like rotoscoping with the AI, and AI might eliminate the need for green screens if it's that good. I haven't looked into it that much, but the tools are there to really up your game.
And what system is this? Which one did you call it? What did you call it?
Well, it's I use PCs, but it's Adobe, the After Effects and Premiere. I haven't fiddled with Audition, but I'm sure that there's equally amazing AI enhancements there.
So you're saying it's an AI plugin that's within Adobe's toolset?
Yep, it's right there. There's a panel in Premiere that you click on called Essential Sound, and all of a sudden there's all these options, and you start playing with them, and you get amazing results.
That's fantastic.
Oh, it's incredible.
That's fantastic. But then again, this is the conversation that we had last night. There was a real late night conversation on the Pacific Rim about AI tools and how AI, if you use it as designed as a tool to help us, we're getting all these wonderful benefits from it, opposed to how it's being vilified in media, social media. They're vilifying all of this stuff. But at the end of the day, it's a tool that can be used to help us in a myriad of ways, way more than we've ever used tools before. So at the end of the day, it's just how we use the technology. Either we want to make a Terminator, or we want to make a new puppy or something to help around the house. So my other question that I really want to pose with you guys, I'm going to hit you all with something really different now. You ready for it?
I'm sitting down.
So there's been a consensus, not a consensus, but I've been speaking with a lot of the filmmakers who wish they could have been in the festival, because there are a lot of films that didn't make it. About 20 films that were cut that really should have been part of the festival, but we just don't have the space. And we already took on an additional 20 films that we didn't have the space for. We put them in the virtual film category because they really wanted to be part of the festival. So your film doesn't play at the festival, but it'll play at the virtual festival, and you still get a selection. That's what happens. That's the kind of the situations that we deal with here. But someone had proposed that their writer, they're a really good writer, they've got dozens of books, and they said, I really want some of my stories to be turned into films. How do I do that? Now, he said he's having a hard time with his films, his books, his stories in Hollywood. He's like, I've been there, I've tried talking to these people, I've been doing this for decades. I can't get it done. And it just dawned on me. MiSciFi, at the end of the day, is a filmmakers festival. We get a lot of filmmakers that come to MiSciFi for whatever the various reasons are. And we get screenwriters that come to MiSciFi because of our screenplay competition. And I'm saying to myself, in the past, we had money people interested in the festival. Money people, okay, who they invest in films. They have these mechanisms, they invest in films. And I said, I wonder if we can get them to come back to MiSciFi. And I'm having this conversation with this particular individual who's a screenwriter. And my question is, do you think it would be a good idea for us to have a networker at the festival specifically in mind for filmmakers who want to make films and get new stories? That's my question to you all.
Definitely.
Anybody?
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. I mean, it just kind of opens up for people to get new ideas, and then people with those ideas to open up to filmmakers. I mean, it's just another networking thing.
Yeah, you've been to the festival, so you know what it's like. And there are a lot of filmmakers there, and screenwriters come because we actually perform a page of a script as part of the award for the screenwriter at the festival. So they're there and they're dying to sell their stories or option. There are many ways to sell a story. You don't have to buy it outright. You can option it. There are all of these different ways that you bring screenwriters and filmmakers, directors. Think of a filmmaker. Filmmaker is a studio, right? So the filmmaker eventually becomes a studio, okay? Or a director of that's under a studio. And those studios are looking for stories. They're dying for stories, good stories. Now, they may be looking for certain stories that you don't write. So how do you get in? In today's world, today's technology, it's done for a fraction of the cost, as we all now have spoken about, have seen, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So the question then is, how do we bring it together? And I think it dawned on me this week that MiSciFi has that ability to help facilitate. Say, hey, we're going to have a bunch of filmmakers, screenwriters going to get together, and if these guys say they want stories for their next film, because believe it or not, you may have a great story and it's great to you, but that great story to you may not be well received by the broader audience. At the end of the day, you want to sell seats. You want to sell seats. You want to sell views on streams. You want a film that a lot of people are going to like. And that number for a lot of people, guess what? In reality, if it's just 100,000 people, it's probably paid for your film. Okay? It's probably paid. How many people here have budgets for their feature films that are under $250,000? Doesn't take much. The world had the prices for everything, just like Walmart 10 years ago, slashing. Everything's coming down in cost, everything. But revenues are going up because of the accessibility to content. You can watch it on your phone. You can watch it all over the world now. Your audience is everybody on the planet. That's where we are now. And just making a little bit of money from this group, it all adds up. Next thing you know, you've got enough money coming in to not only make your film, your next film, but you're paying yourself. You're making a profit from it. That's the real key. We've had filmmakers at MiSciFi that produce feature films for under $25,000, and they sold their movies and they've made more than their money back, way more than their money back, because they developed a recipe that works, utilizing the outdoors. I'm not going to keep talking about this because that's a separate talk by itself. But there are many, many ways to get this done, and the technology and the access to that technology, which is even more important, is driving the system. It's making things so crazy that you're finding companies that were laughed at are now the dominant companies on this earth. Tubi is one of them. Okay? People are like, what's this, free? Are you out of your mind? They're giving content away for free. They now dominate the marketplace. Okay? Just in a few years. So we're running real tight on time, so we got to do something real fun because I don't want to make this so dull. So Star Trek or Star Wars? Matt?
Star Wars.
Star Wars. Why?
Why? Nostalgia, I guess you can say. It's what I grew up with. I didn't get into Star Trek until after the first movie with Chris Pine came out.
Okay. So, what is your favorite Star Trek movie or series?
Really, the most I've seen have been the movies. I haven't seen none of the shows. Maybe clips here and there of the original.
Okay.
If you were to ask my VFX guy for Noman, like he'll probably tell you everything there is to know about Star Trek. He's seen it all.
You needed to bring him over here, but
I should've.
yeah, bring him on next time. But I highly recommend some of the series, in particular Andor. Anybody who's a filmmaker got to see Andor. That just raised the bar so high. I don't know how they're gonna do better than that. Gnu.
Star Wars simply for nostalgia. But just the first three, and some of the new stuff like Andor and Mandalorian. The first 2 seasons of Mandalorian.
Yeah.
I like that. I do like Star Trek for. Forgive me, but it feels a little more adult with themes and how it pursues certain things. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So that is refreshing when you watch Star Trek.
Okay. Kristen. Oh, wow. Kristen Gentry just reached out to us. Somebody in here really put a social media out. Kristen Gentry. She runs IndigiPopX. That's the Indigenous Comic Con, which is one of the biggest things going in the middle of the U.S. right now. That's awesome that she's listening to us. Thank you so much, Kristen. We appreciate you. The next one is someone named Kelly Darlene Dennis. She liked T.L. Westgate's comments on AI tools. Awesome. Derek, Star Trek or Star Wars?
So I would say Star Wars, and here's why. I don't want to sound like a wiener, but Picasso once said a great artist steal. And I think Star Wars is the best theft of Frank Herbert's Dune that I think I've ever seen. And the reason I say that is because pretty much everything is stolen. If you look at the script for Alien, it was just like the writer literally said, I stole from this sci-fi novel, I stole from this sci-fi novel. And like even Frank Herbert was stealing stuff from a Princess of Mars, John Carter way back in the late 1800s.
Yeah.
I think Star Wars is the best steal in terms of sci-fi between the two. And I think because of that, that's why it's as lucrative and insane of a franchise as it is. But with that, I do have to go. I have to get my wife to work. So
thanks, buddy. Thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate you. Look forward to catching up again.
Okay, we'll see you.
All right. Caesar, Star Trek or Star Wars?
Oh, I have to say Star Wars. But Star Trek is, I guess they use my first CG software to develop some, which is lightweight. So I have, but I prefer Star Wars. I don't have, so much, I'm not so fanatic of this, but I prefer Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know exactly why, but this is, I can say that Star Wars. Yeah.
It's because of Robotech. Anyway.
Robotech can be.
Right. From Instagram, we have the best Saturdays of our lives. It's saying Star Trek Classic and New World. That's the New World Star Trek, which is really, I think that's really so much. It's really good as well. Okay, John, Star Trek or Star Wars?
Star Wars. But I will say to piggyback off of the gentleman from Utah was saying, Star Wars doesn't just steal from other sci-fi; it steals from other genres in really effective ways. Lucas talked about how much he directly took from Kurosawa.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the Jedi are very, very much samurai figures.
Yes.
And then I think that's what's really cool about what a lot of really great sci-fi can do is it can take from other genres. Blade Runner takes a lot from noir, and but I will say, when I was a kid, I did probably watch every episode of Next Generation, Deep Space Nine. So those hold a special place in my heart. I haven't really watched them since rewatched them as an adult, but I bet they hold up.
Oh yeah, they do. There are people that are going crazy about them right now. And just for folks, if you don't know, Star Trek Deep Space Nine, how many years was that? 7 years?
7.
7 years of content. It's considered the best writing of Star Trek. It's considered the best writing of Star Trek. So it's definitely worth a rewatch. There's a big push to make it HD. So there's some HD episodes, I think, or clips out there now. But yeah, matter of fact, I think you can watch it on either Tubi or Pluto TV all day long. It has its own channel. So it's nuts.
Do any of the Deep Space Nine characters factor into the new iterations of Star Trek, like the Chris Pine series?
No.
Shame.
Well, the Chris Pine timeline is before Deep Space Nine.
Oh, of course. That's not
good point.
That's,
good point, Tio.
Shatner's character.
Good point. All I can tell you is that the Picard series that so many people were gassing out about, its third season was totally Next Generation. It created such a buzz. There's now, I think, they finished making Section 31. Is that right, Tio?
I've heard different things about that. I don't know if it's going to come to fruition or where it stands right now.
But not only that, but there's a Worf. What's the name of 709?
Yeah.
Jerry
Star
Ryan.
Trek Legacy.
709? Yeah, Star Trek Legacy, which is 709 and Worf. I heard that's supposed to happen.
And Picard's son.
Look at that. This guy is wow. That's all I got to say. Thanks for Shatner. That's all I got to say. Thank you, Shatner. Thanks for really carrying the flag and pushing and staying alive. I'm a huge Trek fan, folks. Love Trek, but I absolutely love Star Wars as well. And to me, Andor totally blew it out of the water. That's why I was saying I highly, highly recommend every filmmaker, every sci-fi filmmaker watch Andor. It's the epitome. It's the very best of Star Wars. It doesn't get better than that. So with that said, folks, that's it for us. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You did a fabulous job. I hope to see you again real soon. And please share the content, the links for the festival, for the virtual festival. I know not everybody's film's in the festival. We honor those facts, but it's one of the ways that really gets your work seen and keeps us going. So, and if you're in Florida, please come to the festival. Please hang out with us. Please break bread with us. Bring all of your friends, especially when it's free, when we do those things. So it's a wonderful experience. You get to meet a bunch of filmmakers from all over the planet, and you never know where that's going to go. You may end up making you might end up making a film that makes millions of dollars. Trust me, it can happen. We're at that timeline where it can happen. You're living in the very best days. And I think a new golden age of science fiction where it can happen. All the best to everybody. Thank you for being with us, and see you again. We're checking out.
Bye-bye.